I'm Jen White. This is 1A, and it's the Friday News Roundup. My guests this week are Nick Schifrin, Foreign Affairs and Defense Correspondent at PBS NewsHour, Paul Danaher, Washington Bureau Chief for the BBC, and Nina Maria Potts. Nina Maria is Director of Global News Coverage for Feature Story News. And Nina, I want you to pick up with that quote from The Guardian's diplomatic editor. I'll reread it just for context. Quote, the world is about to find out if it's possible for one branch of the U.S. federal government, the State Department, to accuse Chinese officials of committing genocide, and for another branch, led by the Special Envoy on Climate Change, John Kerry, to persuade China to transform the way its dirty economy operates. How does John Kerry talk his way around that?
Well, either you believe the planet is being cooked to death or it's not. And if it is, then you have to start doing things. And the world cannot get there without the US and China cooperating, as both Paul and Nick have said. China and the US are never going to hold hands, but every government will have to do expensive and unpopular things like closing coal mines and asking people to use more expensive fuel. And for that to work, the Americans and the Chinese have to agree to do some painful things at the same time. If they don't move in sync, one does and the other doesn't, and they'll try and flood the market with cheaper, dirtier energy products. So what Kerry wants is a concrete list. He wants Chinese banks to stop lending money to coal-fired plants outside China, like in Africa. There's been some movement on that front. But let's not pretend. China never agrees to a scenario where America gets to come to China and check whether China is playing by the rules. China's position is the Americans can't expect us to talk about global issues when they're interfering. If you talk about Xinjiang, we won't talk about climate change. And the tragedy is that the world desperately needs cooperation between the US and China. China itself, as I said, has tons of cities that are going to get flooded as sea levels rise. It has every reason to get serious about climate change, but it also wants to grow its economy first. And so it's still building coal plants, but it knows it has to do something. But it's a very difficult balancing act. The point is that they're never going to be best friends.
But Nick, where are some of those key places where we could see cooperation happen? Are there the key issues that the U.S. and China can perhaps connect on?
Well, I think we've been talking about the primary one, climate overall. And again, we do have that target.